Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliet. So in this video I'll be sharing with you how to make an off shoulder top with shoulder band. Here I have my fabric folded into two using my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 5 inches, and then my shoulder to half length plus extra 1 inch. So next I'm marking my shoulder to nipple and then my shoulder to under bust. I'm going to mark that all across and then connect with a ruler. If this is your first time here, please consider subscribing, and thank you for stopping by. So next I'm marking my nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half inches. I'm going to mark that to the bottom and then connect with the ruler. So on the under bust line, I'm going to mark 1.5 inches outward and then do the same thing on the half length line and then connect with the ruler like so. And then I'm going to make a curve like so. So next I'm coming down by 5 inches from the shoulder. That is going to serve as the neck depth. I'm marking 5 inches for the neck depth. I'm going to connect that with the ruler like so. So you can mark 6, you can mark 4, depending on how deep you want it to be. So next I'm marking my shoulder measurement divided by 2 minus 1.5 inches. So you don't use your actual shoulder measurement with this type of blouse. So next off, I'm connecting the nipple to nipple line up to that 5 inches line I made. And then on the nipple to nipple line, I'll mark 1 inch on the outside and half inch towards the center front. I'm going to connect both lines, both points to the nipple to nipple point. Then down here, I'm going to come in by half inch and connect to the nipple to nipple point as well. So on this line, this shoulder line I marked, I'm coming in by 1.5 inches. So my band is going to be 1.5 inches wide. So you can make yours 2 or even 1 inch. So with this 1.5, after sewing, after joining my sleeve to it, I'm going to have 1 left. So if you want it as tiny as the one on the thumbnail, you make it 1 so that after sewing you have half inches left. So I came in by 3 inches and then came down by half inch on that armhole line, and then I connected in a slant, and I'm also connecting the 5 inches mark to the other end. Here I'm coming down by 1.5 inches to form the sweetheart. I'm going to connect with a curve like so. So next I'm cutting. So I won't be cutting the armhole on the front part. I like to do that after I've joined the front pieces together. So I'm going to be cutting the shoulder slant out, and then I'll cut out this band piece. I'm going to use this as a template to cut the actual band that I'll be using. So I'm going to label it up. very important. I'll need that later. So that's the part that is on the shoulder. So I just wrote up there. Use that later. So next up, to cut the back, I did the same thing. Folded my fabric into two using my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 5 inches, and then my shoulder to half length plus 1 inch. Here I'm marking my zipper allowance, which is 1.5. I marked it all the way down and I'm connecting with a ruler. Next, I'm marking my shoulder divided by 2 minus 1.5 from that zip line. I'm marking it all the way down, and then I'll mark the half inches neck depth that I marked on the front. I do the same thing on the back, as you can see. So next, I'm going to mark the armhole. The armhole I'm working with is 9 inches, so I marked 9 inches from the shoulder, like so, and I'm going to curve it out. So from that line, that shoulder line, I'm coming in by 1.5, the same as we did for the front. Next, on this zipper line on the down part, I'm going to mark the dark point, which is the nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus half inch. I'm going to make a notch there. We'll be using that later. Next, I come in by half inch down here on the center piece, and then I came in again by half inch from the zipper allowance line, and I'm going to connect. This is going to give the back a bit of shape. Next up, on that zipper allowance line, I'm marking 3 inches in, and then on the armhole line I come down by half inch, and then I connect in a slant like so. After which I cut. So I'm going to label this one up as well. On the upper part, you'll know why in a bit. Next, I'm going to open the center like so, and then trim out this half inch we came in by. And that is it for the back. So I went ahead to cut each piece on the main fabric. That's the center front, and then the side pieces for the front, and then here is the back. I'm going to transfer that notch to the main fabric as well. So next off, I'm cutting the band, the shoulder band. I have my fabric here. I folded it into two, and then I'm going to place the templates for the band, both the front and the back one, making sure that the up pieces are touching each other. So they are only touching, they are not on top of each other. So I just place them together like so, and then I add half inch on this end, and then I add half inch on this other end as well. And then you mark the 1.5 that we are using for the band here. I marked 2 inches here actually, which I'm still going to trim off later, but for now I left it at 2 inches. So I'm going to color this one and then another one because we need two of the bands for the blouse. So I'm going to place it and cut the second one. So that is it for the band. So I went ahead to join the pieces together, and I also ironed both the lining and the main fabric. I also sewed the darts on the back and the zipper allowance together, and this is what we have. Next up, I'm going to be applying my measurements on the blouse. Here I'm marking quarter of the waist measurement, and then up here I'm marking quarter of the bust measurement, starting from the zip line. I connected that together and then I turned to this other side. I'm going to repeat the same thing, quarter of the bust measurement up here and then quarter of the waist measurement on this point. So I'm going to open it up and cross check one more time. This time around I'm checking for half, so this is half of the waist measurement. So if you have exactly that, you go ahead. If not, you adjust. And then here half of the bust measurement. So I have a video on how to make off shoulder bustier on my channel where I explain this in detail, in more detail. Okay, where I explain this better, so you can check that out. So next I'm going to pin the front and the back pieces together, right sides together, and then I'll go and join it together using the I'll go and sew on those lines that we marked. So everything I do the same for the lining. So after sewing here, I'm going to be trimming off all the excesses. I also reduce the seam allowance to about 1.5 to 2 inches. Next up, using the back, I'm going to trim off the front armhole. So I'm going after turning it out, I'll just iron that seam place, and then I will do the same for the lining. So here's the band. I'm going to trim off the extra ½ inch I added earlier. So what we need is only 1.5. So I marked 2 inches earlier, so I'm going to trim the extra ½ inch off. Also, I ironed soft interfacing on the band, very soft gum stay, very important. Next up, I opened the zip line for both the main fabric and the lining. So I'm going to be placing the band at the edge like so that the folded part of the band will be towards the center front. I do the same on this opposite side. The part that is open is facing the armhole. So next I'm going to place the lining on the right side like so, and then I'll go and sew the neckline. So after sewing the part, this is what it's looking like. I'm going to notch all around. After which I will pin the band to the back. So I'm going to turn it like so, such that it's not twisted, and then the open end is still facing the armhole side. So you pin it and check that nothing is twisted, and once everything is okay, proceed to the other side. I'm going to turn it like so and pin. So I'm going to place the lining on it like so, and then sew the neckline and then the zip line down. The same for this other side. After that, I ironed it nicely, and this is what it's looking like. So far, this is how to make an off-the-shoulder blouse with shoulder band. So in my next video, I will be showing you how I made the most structured balloon sleeve ever. So please watch out for that. Thank you so much for watching, and please like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching again, and bye.